next guest is the creator of BiggerBolderBaking.com and a brand new cookbook with the same name, and she is back in our kitchen making the fudgiest brownie ever. Please welcome back Gemma Stafford.
Thank you. Good to see you, Gemma.
Always good to be here.
So for this, what we like to call Brownie Bonanza, we have, of course, Deb at the counter, and then Ken and Paige pulled up a seat, too, because, I mean, who can resist an ooey, gooey, fudgy brownie, right?
Nobody.
And you actually came up with this, kind of, you were like, when your boss wasn't looking.
Yeah, so I put this recipe in my book because it's one of my most popular recipes.
Oh, wow.
And it is, we used to make it on a Sunday, and my boss didn't work on a Sunday. It was when I was a professional chef. This recipe actually came from Ireland. I had leeway to experiment and make all my kinds of things. So I made giant brownies and served them with ice cream and fudge sauce.
And they were a hit.
They were, yeah, absolute huge hit. Yeah. Definitely, I'd say they're so big, it's probably a two-person job.
Yeah. We'll see if they can take you down.
Maybe not you guys.
Don't
but other
underestimate us.
Yeah. You haven't seen these guys eat at the counter. Okay, so it starts with melting some chocolate on the stove.
So what you want to do, so these are a bit of a triple chocolate whammy. So we're going to start out with a little bit of water, sugar, and butter. And chocolate in the pot.
Okay.
And you can actually do this on in the microwave as well. Just do it like 30-second increments and just be careful because chocolate burns.
All right.
This guy is lovely and melted over here.
What is water and sugar? So it's not just melted chocolate. You actually put water and
Yes.
sugar. I've never heard that before.
Absolutely. Oh, and water, a little bit of water with chocolate helps it melt. You just have to put it in at the same time so they're both the same temperature. A little bit of nerdy baking knowledge for you, in case you wanted to know that.
I like that.
That's my next, yeah.
What are we going to mix in with the chocolate?
So this is cooled down. You want to let this cool down because the next thing we're going to add in is we're going to add in our eggs.
And they'll scramble.
And they'll scramble if it's too warm. So you want to get in there and whisk. And then, Ali, I'm going to get you to add in some of that oil over there.
All of it?
Yes, please. And that's just a flavourless vegetable oil. And what this does is adds lovely texture because these are, there's some vanilla extract that will go in there too, please. And they add that lovely fudgy texture. These aren't cakey brownies. They're like fudgy and just like really rich and delicious.
It's almost like licking the spoon of the batter.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So good.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
Yes.
Do you actually undercook these when you put them in to make sure that they stay this
I
gooey?
do, and I give notes about that in the Bigger Bolder Baking Cookbook because you have to be, like, the secret of a good brownie is, like, it's perfectly baked. So it's not only the recipe, you've got to bake it just right. So these go into the oven for only a short time, and then you take them out, they have a bit of a jiggle in the middle, and that's when you know that they're still fudgy because you don't want to overbake them, otherwise you'll lose all that lovely stuff in the middle.
So when people say you put a toothpick in and if it comes out clean, they're ready, wrong.
No, it doesn't work with this. This is all about visual. So in the book, I give a visual of what you should be looking for. It is too done. You want a little bit of a jiggle because it goes cold, it sets, it firms up, and then you end up with that perfect center.
Oh, so it almost seems like really underbaked when you do that.
You kind of factor in what's going to happen.
Okay, so we put in the dry ingredients.
In here we have the dry ingredients, some cocoa powder, all-purpose flour, a little bit of salt and a little bit of raising agent. I love me some salt in my baking.
So is that also a key to sort of get these like extra gooey is you use real chocolate and cocoa powder?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're not finished with the chocolate yet, Ali. We're going to add in a few more.
Okay.
Do you want to throw some chocolate chips in there?
Can you mix this?
You can. You absolutely can. And that applies to all your baking. And I write notes about this in the recipe because I really set you up for success. I want you to end up exactly with what I end up with. And over mixing flour can toughen any of your baking. So you want to just gently fold it in. This applies to everything. Just fold it in till it's almost gone. There we go. Lovely jubbly. And then
the chocolate chips, so is that basically at room temperature now? Because those chocolate chips won't melt. They'll actually stay as chocolate chunks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the good thing about these guys are made to hold their shape.
Oh.
So they stay. So they stay exactly the way they should. I'm going to put this over here.
Okay.
And then,
and we go.
Ali, I'm going to get you to hold that.
Okay. Do you need this?
And I'll take that. Thank you. And then into your big pan. These are really, you can see it's really lovely, thick batter.
Oh my
And Gemma,
goodness.
even though they're still gooey in the center, the sides have still set up and they're kind of that crunchy part that you always want with the brownies.
And then you get that crackle on top. You know that like lovely shiny crackle on top that you see a lot with thank you, Ali. With some boxed brownies.
Right.
These are some of the nicest
corners in the box brownies.
You do.
But this is not a corner, but I feel like every little tiny part is
it's
crunchy.
beautiful.
Inside, it's gorgeous.
That's why this is my master recipe, and I shared a lot of recipes like this in my book because, you know, for bakers, you need like the best chocolate chip cookies, the best banana bread, brownies. So I put them in my book, and then other recipes are twists on different recipes. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. So you've got your go-to, and then you've got new ones that you kind of can start making for dinner parties and things like that.
And you have, I want to put this in the oven. How long is it going in the oven?
Going to go in the oven, and a little bit like Debbie said, you have to be careful here. It goes into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for around 35 minutes.
But watch it.
Don't be tempted to leave it in there. It's really tempting. I've been doing this a long time. Don't be tempted. Yeah, trust me. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I know what you know I'm not.
How you were just talking about all the different things in your book. One of the things in your book that I think is really cool too is that it's for really anybody. It's for the experienced baker, but also if you're like in an emergency or you want something like last minute.
Absolutely. So Bigger Bolder Baking is all about giving anyone the confidence to bake anytime, anywhere. So if you have a little bit more time, you can make these gorgeous fudgy brownies. But if you wouldn't mind, Ali, grabbing in the microwave, I have a brownie that you can make in a minute in the microwave.
What? I do not need to know about that. That is
brace yourself.
food.
Dangerous.
It's all
so
about,
good.
it's a little perfect single serving.
Oh my
If you're in a dorm, in an office, if you don't have access to a full kitchen, you can make these big ones, or you can make a little, and this is also in the book, you can make this little 1 minute brownie.
Also, so many other wonderful recipes in the book that I'd love to share
Thank
with our
you.
viewers. Like, for instance, these Viennese Fingers. Tell us about these.
So those guys are a really lovely buttery cookie, very common in, or very popular, I should say, in Europe.
In Vienna.
In Vienna. And then we have some coconut and jam squares. These are all recipes that I collected throughout my career as a professional chef. So they come from Ireland, Italy, Australia. This guy is my Black Forest Gateau.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Gâteau for anyone is cake.
Just fancier.
En France, it's a gâteau.
I was like, is it cat? That's right.
It's a gâteau.
I
Love it when you were here, Gemma. You were so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed my book. It's available to buy now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Anywhere they sell awesome books, that's where it will be.
Awesome books with awesome recipes.
Yes.
This is
Thank you,
delicious,
guys. I'm glad you
Gemma.
liked it.
So delicious. Thank you so much.
so rich.
You all make sure to follow Gemma's Adventures online at biggerbolderbaking.com, and of course, grab her new book. And you can find this recipe at hallmarkchannel.com.